Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Nakwam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday night volume, right? Giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach, Malaki Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach, Malaki Bashai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Akwat out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, the elected visitors scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, and everybody tuning in live. Don Israel, HPK Int, Brother Azariah, Shalom King, Anthony Knox, K Paradise, Jadis Delphius, and everybody else again tuning in and that will tune in. We're living in exciting times. We are living in paramount, exciting, turbulent times that have been spoken of from the days that were before us, even from the beginning. If you are not watching, if you're not on the edge of your seat, if you're not into these prophecies, if your expectation isn't Babylon the Great falling down, then you're in the wrong spirit, man. You're in the wrong spirit. If you're not watching these stock markets go down the drain, a global recession coming to fruition, if you're not watching Iran get ready to press the button, then your spirit is off, man. Everybody should be excited about what the judgments are in the earth. The Most High has made many, and He's continually every day, every damn hour, there's an update, and there are major prophecies unfolding. We are living in exciting times. I'm excited, man. I am honestly excited watching the world collapse and knowing that our redemption draweth nigh, man. Right? Let's go to Luke chapter 21 and verse 29, man. And everybody should be watching, man. I mean, not just, again, like we always say, not just local news, not just your local cable network, but alternative media sites, the whistleblowers are dialed in, all of these different all these different men at the Most High set up, man. Like we said, the whistleblowers, the AMTVs, the Al Jazeera's, the RT News, man. These guys that are in inside jobs, ex-government officials, ex-military men, you know, these guys are giving the inside scoop by the mercy and grace of Yahweh, by Hashem Bashai, what's unfolding on the earth, man. Right? And again, you have seditions in Venezuela. You got damn near civil war going on in England. It's race riots in England. You got sedition in Babylon the Great, right? You have all hell breaking loose out there in Iran. Israel is ready for a counteractive strike, right? I mean, you have the Japanese dollar or yen or their currency collapsing, right? You have global economies collapsing. I think over $1 trillion, man, has been taken out of the stocks, and everybody's losing their mind, man. This is Luke chapter 21 and 29. And he spake to them a parable. Behold the fig tree and all the trees. When they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise, yea, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand. So again, the Most High is letting you know that you're going to see things unfold in the earth, man. When he said these things, it's everything written in this chapter. Wars, rumors of wars, fearful sights from the heavens, man. Earthquakes and seditions amongst men. When you see these things come to pass, one thing we have to understand is that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand, meaning it's soon. All hell is going to break loose. And if you're too invested into this world, you're going to be destroyed, man. If you can't let go of the world, the job, the money, you know, anything that's put before Yahweh by Yahweh Shai, you will be destroyed, man. And if talking about the end of the world rubs you the wrong way and you get offended and you start getting nervous, that also means that your spirit isn't right, man. And there are certain men like that. Whenever you talk about the end of the world, they start getting nervous. They start feeling, they get irritable because they really love it here, man. A lot of people don't like talking about the end of the world. Why do y'all keep talking about the last days? Why do you keep speaking about Yahweh's return? Why do you keep speaking about an economic collapse? Because the Most High told us to, man. And we're looking for this place to go down. Let's read on the verse. Actually, I'm going to jump up to 28. Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So if you ever had your head down, you depressed, you catching hell at your job, you catching hell from your woman, you catching hell from your children, you catching hell, you got physical infirmities, your money ain't what you think it should be, your car situation ain't what you think it should be. Everybody's catching hell, huh? But one thing that the Most High told you to do, he said, put your damn head up, huh? Hold your head up high. Get out that spirit, because your redemption draws nigh, man. You almost out of here. Ain't no reason to be sad and worried about your job. Your job ain't going to be here in the near to come, huh? Ain't no reason to have this world vex you. The world is about to be transitioned to the kingdom of our Lord, man. So you have to really check your spirit and see if you're in a spirit of excitement about the end of the world, or are you in the spirit of like, oh boy, man, what am I going to do with all my money? I've been working so hard for my money. I'm this close to buying my house. I'm this close to getting my dream job. I'm this close to saving up for my 401k. Hey, the hell with that, man. We looking for Babylon the Great, which is the spiritual name of America, to be utterly destroyed with fire and brimstone, man. Right? Nothing else, man. I hate it here. Right? I utterly despise Babylon the Great, man. This great whore. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 13. And I'm going to actually get straight to the point in verse 16. You know what? I'm going to start at 12. Matthew chapter 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. Because when Yahushua taught, he taught in what? Parables, which are illustrated stories, allegories, if you can understand. He did it on purpose so everybody didn't pick up what he was putting down. He intentionally was instructed by the Father to speak in a mystery that only an elect few can understand what he was saying. Now, if Yahushua wanted everybody to get it, he wouldn't have spoken the parable, right? Verse 14. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which is Isaiah, which said, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see and shall not perceive. And these are the people of the world, man. They hear all hell breaking loose, man, but they're not making any moves, man. They're hearing about World War III. They're hearing about the stock market collapsing. They're hearing about the fact that the Yahushua is a so-called black man, that we are the Israelites according to the Bible, and they can't perceive it. They can't connect the dots. They can't put two and two together. And they're still going to go move according to the course of this world, man, and die without knowledge. It's a high blessing to be in this truth, man, to actually witness the end of the world. A lot of people talked about it. They talked about it back in the 1500s. They talked about it in the 1600s. They talked about it way back when. You are literally witnessing the end of all flesh, man, meaning these other nations and their rulership. Verse 15. For this people's heart is wax gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears and should understand with their heart and should be converted, and I shall heal them. And that's a heavy thing that Yahushua said, man. He's saying that he does not want people to be converted. He has to talk in parables, because if he doesn't talk in parables, the people are going to get it. And they're going to start to believe in him and change their ways. Some cold truth about Yahweh Ba'ashmi Yahushua is He doesn't want everybody to change their ways, man. He doesn't want everybody to be converted. He doesn't want maybe your great grandmother to get it, man, or your auntie Loretta, or your damn Orel, man. Because if they get it, he has to heal them. Yahushua does not want to heal them. So he has to throw them off course, man, with these parables so they can never understand, and then they'll never be able to repent, and they'll be destroyed. And Yahushua, he did his job. That's a heavy statement right there. Verse 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. So you are blessed right now because you get to witness Iran go to war with the state of Israel, huh? With Babylon the Great. You get to witness the nations fulfilling Joel the 3rd chapter, going into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. You get to witness the resurrection of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American men. Ezekiel prophesied and said, can these bones live? And you're watching the bones live, man. You can't take this truth for granted, man. And you got front row seats, man. You're not in the nosebleeds. You're not backstage trying to figure out. You have front row seats to the apocalypse, right? For lack of better terms, and the end of the world. Enoch prophesied of these things. He didn't see it, man. Noah prophesied of the end of the world, and he only saw the first death, man. Jeremiah, he prophesied, and they took the book and they threw it in the great river Euphrates, man. About ancient Babylon, he prophesied. About modern Babylon, he prophesied. But only with our bodily eyes are we able to see the end of this man's system, right? You're able to see the end of Babylon, the great system. Let me get Brother Roddy on stage. Shalom.
King,
Let's go to Matthew chapter 11 real quick, man. And there's a lot going on in the world we want to get into, man. And the question remains on the table, are you watching? And I'm not talking about the Olympics. A lot of people, you're into these Olympics. How many gold medals do we have? Like I said before, if you know how many gold medals America has, you might want to start questioning yourself, man. If you know how many bronze medals Japan has, you really need to examine yourself. If you know what number this guy, if there are certain things, like we were saying earlier, that you shouldn't know. And if you know, it's a sign that your mind is too far into this world, man. So you should be watching the prophecies unfold, man. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 11, and verse 25. At that time, Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. You see that? All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. Man. So what is this saying? The Lord has hid these things, the prophecies, the breakdowns, the knowledge of the scriptures from the wise and prudent. Who is the wise and prudent? Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? These scientists, man, these engineers, they don't know the breakdowns, man. These professors of these theologian schools with the masters of divinity and theological science, they don't have the answers. The Lord hid these things from them, and he gave it unto us. It was good in the Father's sight, and it has always been good in the Father's sight to show his power by uplifting the lowly and the meek and the humble. He did it with Moses. He did it with Noah. He did it with Jacob. He's doing it with us. It's good in the Father's sight to magnify the humble and the lowly, right? It would be contradictory of the Father's Spirit to give this knowledge to LeBron James, Jay-Z, who else, man? These worldly politicians and athletes, man. They're already famous. They're already magnified. So it would take away from the power of the Most High. So it's good in the Father's sight to give us this truth. Right? In the last part, it says, you only know Yahweh Ba'Shem Rashad, the Heavenly Father, if the Son reveals some to you, bro. Knowing the name of the Most High. You didn't get that on your own. The Son revealed that to you. Knowing what the Most High looks like. Knowing what he hates. Knowing his favorite flower, his favorite city, his favorite bird, his favorite tree, his favorite people. These things were given to you, not because you decided to read. I feel like reading 2 Ezra 5. No, the Most High put the Spirit of his Son to reveal these things to you. So if you were given these blessings, this hidden knowledge, the secrets of the earth, and you just take it and trample it down, and you're not watching the end of the world, then that's a damn shame, huh? Straight up, it's a damn shame for you to take this truth, trample it underfoot, and have your heart fixated in this world, bro. But you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. Right. Shalom, Israel. But I want to get 2 Esdras chapter 8 and verse 62. Because it's a blessing for the Most High to reveal these things to you through the Spirit, like the brother going into. You don't want to take this truth for granted. Right. It's the book of 2 Esdras chapter 8 and verse number 62. I'm going to start at 61. It says, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. So you have to watch to see the judgments of the Most High. If they're coming to pass right now, next week, did they already come to pass? There's a prophecy timeline you have to be watching. You can't sit back, not know what's going on, and then 3 prophecies have befallen, and they're on the 4th one. Next thing you know, you watching for something that already had taken place and already came to pass. You got the famine of the word that's already slowly creeping in certain countries, right? In certain places of the earth. You have famines arising. You have World War III on the rise, right? These things are happening apart. It's not going to be one specific day where everything comes to pass in 1 hour. You know, these prophecies are coming to pass in part. The Lord says, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I not shewed unto all men. Meaning the Lord isn't going to show his judgments, his prophecy, and his understanding to all men. Why? Because men are going to trample underfoot the mercy and the grace of the Most High. I mean, look at Demetrius. That was with Paul. He used to walk with Paul, used to be an apostle, used to teach, do the work of the Lord with Paul, but he fell away. So the Most High can't show every man all things. Men fall back in the world. Men don't care. Men don't keep watch. It's not within their hearts. But if the Most High is going to give you his secrets, like when you go to the book of Psalms, chapter 25, verse 14, these are secrets. And secrets aren't manifest and given to all men. You have to be chosen, hand selected, predestinated from the foundation of the earth to even know the Most High's name. His name is dreadful among the heathen, dreadful among the wicked, man. And the Pharisees hated to say, the wicked Pharisees hated to say Yahweh Shai's name. Right? These wicked men of the earth in these different nations, they hate the Lord, man. To be able to have that name resonate with your spirit as a burning fire and to say it and praise him, you understand, means everything. These things have I not shewn unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. The few like thee is the elect, because it's only a small remnant of men that are like Elijah, that are like Daniel, that are like Ezekiel, that actually are prophets, that prophesied, that yearn to understand the words of the Most High. Hey, Ezra was fasting to understand the words of the Most High, man. Right? Daniel had faith. Right? Ezekiel had faith. Right? These men were actual living what the precepts talk about. And then answered I and said, O Yahweh, behold, O Yahweh, now as thou shew me the multitude of wonders, which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. But at what time thou hast not shewed me. So the Most High showed Ezra the multitude of wonders. He showed him the second coming. He showed him World War III, the battle of Jehoshaphat in 2 Esdras, the 13th chapter. He has showed him the wonders, the mysteries, and the breakdowns. And what did he do? He yearned for more. Don't let the Most High show you all of this, and then it all goes for granted, and/or you don't care, because the Most High is going to take it all away. Right? That's the parable of the man with talents. Right? You lay him up in a napkin, you tuck him away, and guess what's going to happen? When the Most High comes back and requires that which he gave you times 7, and you don't have anything, He's going to require that at your hand. So you don't want to take this knowledge and the gifts that the Lord give you, prophecy, breakdowns, you read parables, right counsel, whatever the case may be, gifted of tongues, and let it all go for waste. Because we're all an instrument and a vessel that the Most High is using to magnify his name. But you got it.
Yeah, Con, that'll be utter madness, man. For a brother to do that, for a brother to take all of the gifts and knowledge the Most High gave him and lay it up like it's in a napkin, man. And then you got to think about it, man. You can't also wait last minute to get in this thing. See, a lot of brothers, you may be watching these prophecies unfold, and now you're going in your closet and you're finding your shirt with your fringes on that you never wore over the last 2 years, and you're trying to hurry up and order more shirts. I gotta get my fringes in. I gotta get right, and the Lord sees that spirit, man. Right? You have to stay rooted in this thing, man, because you're gonna try to get in this thing, and you're gonna go to the sellers and try to buy, and it's gonna be too late for you, man. You have to remain rooted in this thing. You can't be a fair weather fan, man, with the Most High. Some people are like that with teams. My team is doing good. Okay, I like the team. Your team is doing bad. Okay, I don't really know what's going on with them. Then when your team is in the damn playoff championship, now you're a super fan. A lot of brothers are super Israelites when the prophecies are unfolding, man. Then when things kind of die back down, they kind of go back in the world. Then the prophecies unfold, then they kind of hop back in this thing. The Lord sees that, man. He sees your spirit. So, like, you got it real quick. I got to grab something.
Come. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, and verse number 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh from the Lord. So people act like they want to listen, like the brother's going into. They hear it for a time, they lay it up for a moment, but it's not truly within their heart, man. You don't want to be a hypocrite and or a man that hears these prophecies and these secrets right in one ear and it goes right out the other. And they come unto thee as the people coming. Meaning people log into the lives, right? They watch the breakdowns, right? They come visit the brothers on the highways and byways only in the springtime and in the summertime because they really don't want to do the work. They half-ass want to come in the fall time. They don't want to lace up their boots in the wintertime. They don't want to do the work of the Most High. So they come when the people coming, when it's seasonal, right? And they want to hear just something good. It says, and they sit before thee as my people. Meaning they fame themselves as if they're really in the truth and they really want to hear the words of God, as if they're my people, right? It says, and they will hear thy words, but they will not do them. The not do them is keeping watch, man. Let's not always talking about eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. There are other laws other than not eating shrimp, crab, and lobster and wearing your beard, man. You're commanded to keep watch. You're commanded to go inside of these prophecies. You're commanded to have the spirit of prophecy and Yahweh Shah burning in you, man. These are things that are prevalent that you ought to go in and part, right, as the commandments, as parable, as common knowledge, and other things as you read. A balanced diet in the truth. It says, for with their mouth they will shew much love, but their heart is gone after their covetousness. Meaning they act as if they really want to hear the words of the Lord and the prophecies, but their mind is of this world. Their mind is in LeBron James, right? The Olympics, right? Their mind is in another wife. Their mind is in riches, right? 401k, what they're going to do next week, next month, right? They're thinking about how they're going to spend their next paycheck. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song, and of one that hath pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but do them not, man. And a lot of people that really enjoy the lives and the breakdowns, they enjoy watching Esau kiss the boot. They're in it for thrills. Don't be that brother that's logging in to see a debate just to laugh and eat popcorn, man. Right? This is breaking news and this is much see TV. Right? Where we getting on the so-called white man. Or just seeing what it is, right, that the Israelites have on today. Don't be that type of brother, man. The Lord, so I'm going to read that again. It says, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but do them not. And when this thing come to pass, and lo, it will come, then they shall know that a prophet had been among them. When they don't take these things serious, or then all hell breaks loose, and they should have kept watch and door, been associated and with those prophets, standing and learning, and these things come to pass. The judgments are going to convince them to their phases and their own iniquities, like the scriptures say in Wisdom of Solomon, right? And then they're going to be destroyed in a famine, eaten by wild beasts, obtained by the sword, or some type of judgment by not keeping watch.
Come. And going right into it, I mean, there's a lot going on in the earth right now, man. There's a lot going on in the earth. One of the imminent signs and prophecies is what? Israel on alert for retaliation. U.S. officials say attack could be imminent. So again, we understand that they killed one of the leaders of Hamas in their own city, right? Who did that? The Israelis, the so-called Jew. Now, they expect everybody to just, say, okay, well, that's a so-called Jew. They can kind of do what they want to do. That's what a lot of these Edomites do. In Babylon the Great, England, Germany, France, they're part of this system where they put these so-called Jews, Amalek, on a pedestal, and they can just get away with murder, man. They can get away with an entire genocide, and nobody's going to speak up against it, man. Well, you got some of these nations, man, they know who's the real Jews, man. They know who doesn't belong in that land. And now Iran, they are ready to retaliate. They are ready to retaliate against the so-called Jew, man. And really, the East, Middle East rather, is going to play a major part in Bible prophecy, man. There are many prophecies that go into war taking place in the Middle East, right? Any type of conflict, any type of invasion, all of the turmoil that always happens in that region is because the Most High has spirits over there stirring up the minds of these men to constantly be at war and at odds with one another, right? So I'm going to kind of read a little of this. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it reads, now this is from updated August 5th, which is today, 4:26 p.m. All right, it reads, Israel remains on high alert for a major retaliation promised by its adversaries after senior Hamas and Hezbollah officials were killed last week, with U.S. officials suggesting that the attack could be imminent, but it can happen any moment. Now, all things are the will of the Most High. But if Iran retaliates with a major attack, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a major global or regional, rather, conflict in the Middle East, right? You're going to have a major regional conflict in the Middle East. Iran has allies like Russia, China, you understand, India, North Korea. Israel has allies, chiefly America and other Western nations. So if Iran and Israel are in war, it's going to spiral out of control and pull all these countries into war, and you're going to have World War III before you know it. Let me read one more real quick. It reads, the Biden administration informed U.S. lawmakers that Iran's retaliatory strikes may happen as early as Monday or Tuesday. People familiar with the matter told the Washington Post, speaking of the condition of anonymity, right, meaning they don't want things to be revealed, to discuss a sensitive security matter. So they're saying, and I'm hearing a lot of sources, a lot of our inside sources are letting us know that, yeah, we have inside sources, right, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah. A lot of our inside sources are letting us know that this thing could happen late in the wee hours of the morning, man, today or so-called tomorrow, and or tomorrow, Tuesday, man. Now, again, all things are the Most High, but World War III is inevitable. Right? I want to get one quick precept, man. World War III is inevitable. It will happen. Right? Let's go to the book of Let's see what. Let's go to Joel, third chapter, right? Joel chapter 3, and I'll read verse 1 and 2. Joel chapter 3 and 1. For behold, in those days and at that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. That's this time. August 2024 AD, the Lord is bringing again the captivity, meaning he's delivering his people first spiritually and waking us up to the knowledge. While he's doing that, there's another prophecy that's going to be happening. And that's in the next verse. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So the Lord is gathering Iran. He's gathering Israel. He's the one putting the spirit on America to send F-22 bombers and stealth bombers and warships to the Mediterranean. And he's bringing them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat is a compound Hebrew word, which is Yah-Shaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment, right? Shaphat means decision or judgment. So this is the valley of Yahweh's judgment, because Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, is going to judge the nations according to their works. That's why you have, and if you look up on the map, you'll see Jehoshaphat really outside of Jerusalem, but it's really talking about that whole region. If you pull up, let's pull this up real quick. Jehoshaphat, right? So let's pull this up. You pull up the Valley of Jehoshaphat. We'll type in Valley. So they typed in Armageddon. Now it's kind of one and the same. Armageddon goes back to Megiddo, right? Which is somewhat outside of Jerusalem. And then you have Jehoshaphat. So Jehoshaphat, and they got this part right. It says between Jerusalem and the Mount of Olives. So it's a region out here in the Middle East. Now, it's not just talking about this one little place right here, because all nations aren't going to fit. You're going to have a whole global, or this Middle East region, be filled with the weapons, tanks, personnel, paratroopers, nuclear bombs, and war taking place. This is why the state of Israel is a key player in biblical prophecy. You got it, King.
Con, that's right. And I'm going to pull that out in Revelation, right? Chapter 16 and verse number 15, right? Going into Armageddon, right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garment, lest he walk naked and see his shame. All right, so blessed is he that continues to watch and keepeth his garment, keepeth his spirit, right? Keepeth his understanding, lest he walk naked, right? And all of his shame, right, is going to be manifest. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue, right, Armageddon. So the Lord's going to gather all of the kings of the east and bring them all together with their weaponry, their drones, right, their helicopters, right, their missiles, and all of their war tanks. It says, and the seventh angel poured out his veil into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, it is done. Right? So when the last trumpet and the last vial, right, is going to be the world war, right, that the Most High is wrapping up, while all nations are going to war. You understand, a fight against the Lord in the air. So the Middle East is very prevalent with prophecy and everything going on, right? That's going to be the end all be all, right? That's when the Lord is going to destroy these nations, and these nations are going to war together, right? And I'm going to read 18. It says, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great, right? Meaning the bombs are going to drop, and it hasn't been a war, it hasn't been destruction, hasn't been cries, yells, and moans, gashing of teeth. It hasn't been a world war and or destruction, right, that's going to shake the earth since the world has begun. Right? It's not talking about a 7.2 or 1.1. Right? The Lord can have an earthquake during this time as well, but nevertheless, through the Spirit, right, it's going into the destruction. Man is not going to witness a war, right, like the war that's coming. says, and every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. Right? I mean, and the nations are going to be destroyed. They're going to all flee and fled away. They're going to be destroyed. Right? Like it says in the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter, when they go to hide from the land. Right? It says, and they fell upon men a great hail out of heaven. So during this time, right, Yahweh Shah is going to be destroying the nations, right, along with the holy angels. Every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blaspheme Yahweh because of the plague of hail. For the plague thereof was exceeding great. So while all of this is going on, like it says in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, they're going to be afraid and scared, but durst fight. And they're going to be blaspheming Yahweh Bashem Yahushua as this is going on.
Con. Yeah, and you know, people are protesting. You have people rioting. You have people saying, when is there going to be war in the Middle East? It's like a peace in the Middle East. You got people with these flags, these black and green flags, free Palestine. The Lord isn't going to free Palestine, man. What prophecy in the Bible is written where the Lord is going to free Palestine? There is no free Palestine, man. Save the people in Gaza. The hell with them in Gaza, man. Right? The people of Gaza, they're not worried about you, man. When you on crack, when you got diabetes, man. You think these people in Gaza and Palestine are worried about your great granddad that can't pay rent, who's about to live on the streets, man? You think they're worried about you, man, when you about to get evicted? The Lord said in Jeremiah 15:5, who shall bemoan thee? O Jerusalem, who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? These nations don't ask how you doing. They don't care about you, man. So you Negroes that are saying free Palestine, you're sick. And it's just outright just blasphemous, man. You try to save these nations don't love you, man. And I'm glad that the Most High is dropping bombs on Gaza. I'm glad that these hospitals are being destroyed, man, with these children in it. I'm glad that this damn bomb's dropping on the libraries with the kids in it, man. I'm glad that Israel is dropping bombs on Iran, and I'm glad that Iran is dropping bombs, about to drop bombs on Israel, man. We love seeing these nations go toe-to-toe, man. I mean, there are certain accounts, man, when you had kings who watched the children of Edom and Moab just kill each other, man, only to get the spoil afterwards. So we're not picking a side. Everybody on the earth is picking a side. Either you're picking the Palestinians or you're picking Israel or you're picking Iran. Who do you pick? Who do you pick? We pick the Most High, man. Right? We understand what's written. Right? This is Revelation chapter 9, right? And we're going to start at verse 13. Revelation chapter 9 and 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High. So this is the sixth trumpet, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. So there are actual angels. This is not a parable. There's parable angels. No, these are literal angels bound up in a great river Euphrates. Well, what did they do? How did they get there? Well, they didn't do anything. There's no account of what they did or what they didn't do. All we know is the Most High bound them up in the river Euphrates. Are you sure? Didn't the angels sin? No, these angels are bound up, and really they have a lot of force behind them. So if the Most High didn't bound them up, that force would have been unleashed and war would have happened before the timing of the Most High. But in that river Euphrates, you can go there, man. You can take a trip over there. You're not going to be able to see the angels, but they are there. And they're still bound up. Who bound them up? The Most High bound them up. The Lord bound up Asmodeus, man. He bounds up demons. You could bound up a spirit. Right? Verse 15. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of men. So these angels are going to be loosed at a certain hour, just like somebody's prison time. You got a prison time, you serve your 10 years, then you're out. These angels are bound up. They're going to do what they got to do, and they're going to be out. and they're going to slay the third part of men, because they're going to work in the minds of these men and be a spirit inside these missiles that are going to be shot forth to destroy the third part of men, meaning a certain portion of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. Is that 2 million? 200 million, Salakia. 1,000 is a million. So this is 200 million. And I heard the number of them. See that? So the Lord has missiles, millions of range missiles and rocket launchers and ICBM missiles that are going to be shot forth in the earth, and they're going to be worked on by these angels, man. Where is this going to happen? Around the great river Euphrates. This is why geography is important, man. Where is the great river Euphrates? Right, let's pull it up on the map. Right, this is why you have to know geography. You have to know geopolitics, right? You have to know these things, man. Or you're going to be caught out there. So here's the great river Euphrates. This is this region where war is going to kick off at, man. And this river is drying up. You know, it's drying up as you know it. And you're going to have the way of the kings of the east, like Iran, push their way towards Israel and fulfill Bible prophecy. This is the great river Euphrates, right? This is the river Euphrates that the Most High has set up, man. So again, we're looking forward to these attacks, man. When we see articles like this, Israel on alert for retaliation, U.S. officials say attack could be imminent. We're on the edge of our seat, man. We're excited, man. Literally on the edge of our seat, hoping they press the button. Right? You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. Right, and like we say all the time, you don't want to fall asleep right before something happens. Nor do you want to just wake back up when you see stuff happen. You want to continue to be on the edge of your seat. Watch. Like the Lord said, paraphrasing greatly, blessed is that servant. When he cometh, he shall find watching. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 30 and verse number 21. Right? It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 30 and verse number 21. And it reads, it says, Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So the Lord's going to break down, right, America and all of its allies. The Lord's going to break the arm. The arm is your strength, your power, right, your wealth, right, all of the things that you have, your military. The Lord's going to break the arm, right, of Egypt. And lo, it shall not be bound up to be healed, to put on a roller to bind up. Meaning when the Lord break down and this war actually kicks off, there's no going back, right? There's no such thing as, it's just a little bit of war here, a little bit of war there. When all of these nations get together and they start pushing those buttons, they have these different articles like Article 5, where they have to buy their own laws and their own confederacies to go to war, and they all have to go to war. So when these things start to get breaking down, right, there's no binding them up, right? That's the book of 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter. You can't drive away a hungry lion. Once these things are kicked off and gone forth, there's no return. It says to make it strong, right, to hold sword, right? So these nations aren't going to be strong, chiefly America, to be able to hold the sword once the Lord starts chopping them down, right? I'm going to get the mighty book, right, of Zechariah chapter 13, right? And this is going to show you that there's always going to be spirits in the land of Israel, right, to the time of the second wilderness, right? Going into that same precept, right, how the angels are bound up, right? This is the book of Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 1. In that day, there should be a fountain open to the house of David, right, the elect, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I would cut off the names of the idols out of the land. So until this time, there's an exact appointed time where the Lord is going to cleanse out all of the idols, all of the unclean spirits, all of the false prophets. So all of these spirits, right, and all of these things conjuring up war, right, conjuring up idols, ideologies, right, all of these different things are going to stay in Israel to the time appointed. It's a lot of spirits in Israel right now, right? You have the unclean dwelling in the land. You have Amalek dwelling in the land. You have idols in the land. You have unclean spirits in the land, right? You have the 4 angels bound up, right? It's a lot going on in that region. It says the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirits to pass out of the land. So until that appointed time, you're gonna always have trouble, like they say, and no peace in the Middle East. Right? This is Bible prophecy that there are spirits and there are angels dwelling in that land. But you got it.
Yeah, this thing is deeper than flesh and blood, man. It's deeper than flesh and blood. It's from August 2nd. This is from USNI, right? I mean, the United States Naval Institute. Carrier USS Abraham Lincoln heads to Middle East as Iran threatens strikes against Israel. So you see the Most High pulling all these nations, man. One of the titles of the Most High is the Lord of Hosts, meaning he's the Lord of the armies. You read in the book of James, the Lord of Sabaoth, meaning he's in control of every army. The armies in the heavens, meaning the angels, the heavenly host. He's in charge of the earthly terrestrial hosts, meaning every army of man is controlled by God. He has created the Iranian army and gave them their uniform and weapons and technology. He's the God of these armies in Babylon the Great. There's not one army that the Most High doesn't know about. How did this army come about? He's the Lord of hosts, man. Even animals have armies. Lions have prides. Ants have armies and march. And, wolves have packs and wolf packs. And these are all armies amongst the beast kingdom and amongst men and amongst the angels, man. All things belong to the Most High. So he's the one pulling this ship to the Middle East, man. Right? USS Abraham Lincoln heads to the Middle East. And this isn't a cruise ship, man. This is an aircraft carrier. This is where you land your jets, your stealth bombers, and they can land, kind of get refueled up, and people kind of eat, then they take off and they drop bombs on other lands, man. This is not a cruise ship. The Carnival, man. This is a major war ship that the Most High is setting up. Now, I want to get this, maybe think of this quick precept in Joel, the 2nd chapter. Right? Let's go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. This is Joel chapter 2 and verse, I'll start at 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. His stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Who's the northern army? It's not talking about, okay, well, you had the Civil War, you had the Confederacy against the Union, and the Union was the North. That's the Northern Army. No, the Northern Army is the American Army. The Army consists of their Space Force. It consists of their Navy. It consists of their Air Force, the Marine Corps. That is all an amalgamation of the Northern Army. The Most High is going to take the Northern Army away from us, meaning here in continental America, in the States, and drive them into a land barren and desolate, meaning the desert land, which is what? The Middle East. That's why it says with his face toward the EC. What is the EC? Right? The EC is what? Let's pull this up on the map. Let's pull up the map. And it says his hindermost parts toward the utmost sea. So that's between the Mediterranean, which is the utmost sea, and the EC is what you call, so let's pull this up, the Dead Sea. So he's going to be here from the utmost sea even to the East Sea. Right? Let's go back to this. It reads, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. His stink shall come up, meaning he's going to be destroyed there, his dead bodies, and his ill savor shall come up because he had done great things. So the Most High is going to destroy the Northern Army. Where is he going to destroy him at? In between the utmost sea and between the East Sea. That links directly up with Revelation, the 16th chapter, Revelation, the 9th chapter, right? About the Most High taking these armies and moving them to that region. That's why, one more real quick, in Revelation, the 8th chapter, you read about the ships being destroyed, huh? Right? You read about a third part of the ships actually being destroyed. This is the book of Revelation, Slakia, chapter 8 and verse. Let's start at here it is, 8. Revelation 8 and 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. Now, that great mountain is not an actual mountain. Leave it up to the Christians. They're going to say, well, that's an actual mountain. No, there's no actual mountain burning with fire being thrown into the sea. This is a missile, a bomb. When John saw it, he described it as a great mountain cast into the sea. And the major sea in that region, even though we know the sea are the nations, but the major sea in that region is the Mediterranean Sea. And you got the East Sea and you got the Euphrates River, these different bodies of water where men are going to die. That's why it says the third part of the sea became blood, because the men involved heavily in World War III are going to be destroyed. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed, bro. So you have ships, you have an air force, you have these armies being pushed into that region, and you're seeing that the Most High is not dealing with these ships, man. He's not dealing with the Northern Army. He's not dealing with these armies as if they're going to save the state of Israel, man. And one more point. If these are the people of God, if this man, Netanyahu, and these people of the state of Israel are the people of God, why do they need the protection of America to save them when they are the people of God? Where is this calling upon the Most High? How come they're not calling upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua? How come they're not declaring a fast? Surely the people of God, all throughout our MO, during the time of Esther, during the time of the Maccabees, during the time of every empire, when we're in straits from the other nations, we declare a fast and we sanctify the fast, and everybody has to get down with it, man. Where is their fast at, man? And the ashes and the sackcloth. Why do you need an American army to save you when you're supposed to be the people of the Most High? And then I thought when you got in that land, pursuant to Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, that there's supposed to be there's supposed to be peace in the land. So the world is waking up, man, and you're being exposed for the devils that you are, man, calling on America. I thought in their own Tanakh, it said, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm," in Jeremiah 17:5. So y'all are phonies, man. You got it, King.
That's right. Right. And they just trusting in oppression, man. Right. They trusting in these nations to save them. And no real prophet, man of God, apostle, right, or child of the Most High would ever do something like that. That's how you know these nations are of the devil, man. They're not of the Most High, right? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 27, right, in verse number 27. Right, so the same thing that happened in Tyre, right, is the same thing that's going to happen to these warships, right? It says, "Thy riches, thy fares, thy merchandise, thy marines and thy pilots, thy caulkers and thy occupiers of merchandise, and all thy men of war that are in thee, and in all thy company." Right, so you have all your marines, all your men that go under, right, and all of these submarines. You got all of your pilots, right, the men that are driving, the men that are occupying, right, all of these ships, right. It says, "And the men of war that are in all in thy company, which is in the midst of thee, shall fall in the midst of the sea." Right, so they're not going to continue to be out there and not get hit by those missiles. They can't continue to land, fuel up, drive off, bomb all of these nations and think that the Most High isn't going to destroy them too. That's Revelation 8 and 8. Right, it's the book of Ezekiel 27 and 27. Right, there's going to be war in the midst of the seas too. There's going to be war on land. There's going to be war in the air. There's going to be war in the midst of the sea. That's why you got all of these U.S. Coast Guards. You got the Coast Guard. You got the Navy. Right? So you have all of this military. There are all of the coast of all of these states just watching. Right? And then you have all of the Navy. They're all out in warships. They're waiting. You have all of the pilots in the air. It says, in the midst of thee shall fall in the midst of the seas in the day of thy ruin. And the suburbs shall shake at the sound of the cry of thy pilots. So what are the men going to be doing out in sea? Right? They're not going to be able to go under, right, neath at the bottom, right, where your so-called bunker is, where there's steel and or iron and brass, and think that they're going to be safe. The Lord said the spirit of those men in the midst of those seas, they're going to be crying. They're going to be sighing and they're going to be howling because they know that the destruction draweth not. And all that handle the orc, the marines, and all the pilots of the sea shall come down from their ships. They shall stand upon the land, and they shall cause their voice to be heard against thee, and shall cry bitterly. Right? The Lord said in the midst of that day, Egypt is going to be like a woman. Right? When you read the book of Isaiah, right? Chapter 19 or 14 all the way down. Right? And the mighty man shall cry bitterly. It says, and shall cast up dust, right, upon their heads, meaning they're going to understand they're in a lower state, that they can't survive and that they're nothing. They shall wallow themselves in ashes, and they shall make themselves utterly bald, for all the girt them with sackcloth, and they shall weep for thee with bitterness of heart and bitter wailing, man. So these nations, they're going to cry like women. They're going to be destroyed. Right? When these missiles and these damn machine guns start hitting off, they start chopping off limbs and arms. Right? Who's going to save them? You think anybody on the walkie-talkie is really going to give a damn? They're trying to save their own life, man. Right? These nations think they're going to have their back, but in the midst of war, everybody's going to be trying to fend for themselves. Everybody's trying to survive for themselves. Right? In the midst of that day, you're going to see nothing but weeping and gashing the teeth. Right? You got it.
Yeah, I mean that when the Lord said in Revelation 12 and 7, and there was war in heaven, man. Like the brother saying, this thing is going to be major. This is going to be a major global conflict, man. You have ships headed toward the Middle East, man. Now you have some ships that said, look, nothing really serious happened. We're kind of going back. Then you got other ships landing and going closer and closer, man. So I'm gonna just read a little of this. It reads, West Coast carrier USS Abraham Lincoln is setting sail to the Middle East from the Pacific to relieve the carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt and its strike group. Meanwhile, the Navy is sending additional ships to the region following threats from Iran. Now, really, they could do a false flag attack and say Iran attacked one of these ships. You know how these damn devils, they'll sacrifice the people of their own military for their greater satanic cause. They'll blow up their own ship and press the button and say Iran did it, man, to draw Iran further into a global war. But we'll see how the Mossad has this thing really play out, right? It reads, Pentagon officials announced on Friday evening to maintain a carrier strike group presence in the Middle East. The secretary has ordered the Lincoln carrier strike group to replace the Theodore Roosevelt carrier strike group. And both of those are doubles, man. Theodore Roosevelt and Lincoln. Currently on deployment in the Central Command area of responsibility, reads the Pentagon statement. Now, it also reads, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has ordered additional ballistic missile defense-capable cruisers. You see that? And destroyers to the U.S. European Command and U.S. Central Command regions. The department is also taking steps to increase our readiness to deploy additional land-based ballistic missile defense. So this thing is going down, man. Right? Ballistic missiles. These ships, it's like they're going to send cruisers that can shoot ballistic missiles. They have aircraft carriers out there. I mean, all signs are pointing to the end of the world, man. All signs are pointing to the end of the world. And I believe we touched on this already, right? Blinken warns of imminent attack on Israel, right? And this thing, the world is on the edge of their seat, man. The world is on the edge of their seat. Here was another one. U.S. military prepares for all scenarios as Middle East on the edge of abyss. U.S. officials tell Al Arabiya, English, that there are at least 12, see that? 12 American warships in the region, including the USS Theodore Roosevelt aircraft carrier and just over 4,000 Marines. So this thing is heating up, man. You have Babylon the Great, they're getting involved in this matter, right? You have Iran getting involved in this matter. You have all nations waiting to see what's going to befall the Arab nations and the so-called white man. Right now, really, that goes back. I want to get this in Genesis, the 16th chapter. The prophecy says that his hand will be against every man, right? And every man's hand against him. This is Genesis chapter 16 and verse 12. And he, meaning Ishmael, will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Now, some of those Iranians are Elamites, but a lot of them are Ishmaelites too, man. Right? And the prophecy says they'll be against every man. That's why you always have them fighting anybody that comes in that land. They fought the Israelites when we was in that land, man. They're fighting the Palestinians. They're in that land, man. They're fighting the so-called Jew. They're in that land. And he dwells in the presence of all his brethren. That's why you have the Arab League. The Arab League is a fulfillment of Genesis 16 and 12. Because the Arab League is all of the Arab nations who have come together politically. And that's them literally dwelling amongst each other. Kuwait, Qatar, Yemen, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Iran, Iraq, right? They all dwell, Oman, they all dwell amongst each other. And they dwell in the presence of their brethren, man. Whereas the so-called white man, he doesn't do that. He's in Australia over here. He's in Canada up there. He's in America over here. They're all the other nations are kind of scattered abroad. But them Arabs are compact. They dwell amongst each other, and they're always at war with these other nations, man. That's why you see, where's that at? We had this. Slocky. Oh, see, that's another one. U.S. deploying F-22s to Middle East as Iran seeks revenge on Israel. You got it, King.
Khan, there are many judgments, right? When you read the latter end of Jeremiah, right? When you read the book of Isaiah, right? Ezekiel, right? Isaiah, all of these precepts in these chapters, right? They have judgments upon these nations. Right? I want to get this real fast. This is Isaiah chapter 21 and 13. It says, the burden upon Arabia and the force in Arabia shall ye lodge, O ye traveling companies of Daman. Right? So the Lord has judgments, right, on Arabia. It says, and the inhabitants of the land of Tamar brought water unto him that was thirsty. They prevented with their bread him that fled. So he's prophesied to flee in the midst of war. It says, for they fled from the swords. Right? So what is Arabians? What are they eventually going to do? They're going to fled and flee from the swords. Your modern day swords are the missiles. It says, for they fled from the swords, from the drawn sword, and from the bent bow. Right? The bent bow are all of you missiles that's aimed towards them. And from the grieviness of war. For thus saith the Lord. So like for thus saith the Lord said unto me, within a year, according to the years of a highlands, the glory of cedar shall fall. And these nations fail once, right? And they're going to fall all over again, right? The Lord requires, right, that which is past. But I want to get another quick precept in Ezekiel, right, the 7th chapter, right? The book of Ezekiel, right, chapter 7, and I'm going to start at 25. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 25, says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Right? And it's really to Israel, because we got to all get our spirits together before all hell break loose, man. Right? You don't want to be watching and prepared for destruction, but you got all type of blots upon your garment. Right? You're not ready. You're not reading. You're not prepared. Your spirit not right. You're not praying. Right? I mean, that destruction could be for you. You want to make sure that you're on fire and waiting upon the day of the Lord. It says, mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Right? And that's what Jake say. Jake could hear a rumor and it don't come to pass immediately, And they think, well, that's dead. That ain't nothing to that. It says, then they shall seek a vision of the prophet. Right? The prophets are the men making the videos, going through the videos, breaking everything down. You can't wait till all hell break loose to seek a vision of the prophet. You don't know what the Dan is. You don't know what countries are going to war. You don't know what alliances are linking up in prophecy. Now you're trying to get a prophet to break all these things down and make sense of it. But the law shall perish from the priests and the counsel from the agents. And the Most High always takes away the word when all hell breaks loose. Right? That happened all in the scriptures. The word isn't going to be there when all hell breaks loose. Guess what? Because them that have the word already have it. And them that are without are going to be judged. That's why the word is taken away, man. Either you had it in that day and were protected, right, or you don't have it at all. And the Most High is going to take away the word. And whoever has it sealed up in their hearts and in their foreheads are going to be the ones that the Most High covers. It says, the king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with destruction, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled, and I will do unto them after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Right, you got it, King.
And I want to get Second Ezra chapter 16. Right, let's go to Second Ezra to 16 chapters. So brothers should be watching, man. Right, you're living in exciting times. You are living in exciting times. Second Ezra 16:1. When you see stuff like this, U.S. deploying F-22s to Middle East as Iran seeks revenge on Israel. I mean, what more do you want to see, man? This is more exciting than damn $300 more on your paycheck, man. This is more exciting than you get another woman, man. This is more exciting than you getting a new car. You're literally watching the Most High take these nations, put them together in a pot, and then just stir the pot up so they can kill one another, man. The Iranians are our enemies too, man. We're not pro-Iran. We hate the Iranians, man. If I was in Iran, man, it'd be a big problem. You know? And we hate the F-22s, man. And all these jets that tried to violate the words of the Lord on that day. And we hate the state of Israel, man. These Israelis. We despise them, man. So when they all come together to destroy one another, I mean, all praises. The Lord said, he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy, man. Right? These are things that are beautiful and makes our heart happy. Watching our enemies destroy one another. Right? Now, the F-22s aren't just little, hot air balloons, man, that you take around the world. All right? The F-22 is not a Spirit airline, man, from Miami to Houston. These F-22s, let's pull up the F-22s. Right? Real quick, the F-22s. These are you read about these in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Right? They're called clouds. In 2nd Ezra 15, because they have that cloud sheet behind them. That's how Ezra saw it, right? When they break the sound barrier, these can drop nuclear bombs, right? These are Esau's angels, man. When John said there was war in heaven, here's what he saw, right? He saw these jets and the F-22s getting busy, man, really getting destroyed. Look at this. Why the F-22 Raptor is such a badass plane. See, Esau boasted this, man. Right? These this is just old technology, man. Old, outdated, primitive stuff, man. Compared to the chariot. Right? So let me read this real quick in 2nd Ezra 16:1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. So these are key players for World War III. Babylon the Great, Asia. It consists of China, Russia, because Russia's in Asia, technically, right? The greater majority of it. Russia, China, Iran, Iraq, India, Japan, North Korea. All of that is Asia. The Lord said, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. So again, if you wanted to know what land masses the Most High is going to touch, here are key land masses, man. Babylon the Great, Asia, all of Asia, Egypt and its allies, Syria. The Most High said, your destruction is at hand, man. And again, once Iran presses that button, Most High willing, and they blow up, hopefully they blow up Tel Aviv. They blow up some building, man. And we're hoping it's a big deal. Iran, you make a lot of promises, man, that you don't keep. They killed your leader, your general. What was that in 2020? I believe, man. And you still didn't do nothing, man. So if you don't do nothing now, Iran, the world is going to know that you're nothing but a coward, man. They done killed all your generals, and all you say, we vow revenge. We're going to raise the flag. We're going to finally take action. And you never do it. So if you're watching this and you're the Iranian prime minister and king, you need to do something, man. You need to take the counsel of the children of Israel and do something, because you're going to be looked at as a fraud, man. Now, ultimately, it's the Most High anyway. But if you continually bluff and bluff and bluff, you just turn into a bluffing demon, man. Like the bluffing demon that be at the harbor, man. Or the murder demon, who just bluffs all day, man, but never does anything. Don't bluff, Iran. Here you are saying we vow vengeance. Do something, man. Right? Make something shake. Make something. Where's this at? We had this one. Right? Make something shake. You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. Yeah, Qasim Salamindi.
Khan.
Yeah, however you say his name. Right? Got straight up murked.
Right.
And no retaliation. Nothing has happened. That should have been a big deal to the point where World War III should have kicked off.
Right.
That should have been so hyped up. You know, like if one of our kings got taken down, or even Jake, in the hood, if somebody take down one of their cousins or their brother, they're ready to ride, man. Right? I mean, even on the left-hand side, you have people that are ready and willing to go to war at any given time. But yet you have all of this military, all these alliances, and you do nothing. Right? He got taken down by the U.S. Air Force. Now the Air Force is real. They're in and out, man. Right? They may be in the sky for a moment. They flying over different regions and different places, but that's a large how war is going to take place in the air. Right? It's 2nd Esdras chapter 15, and I want to get 40. It says, "The great and mighty clouds shall be lifted up full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid." Right? So it's going to make all the earth afraid when you hear all of the sounds, right, of those fighter jets. And I don't know if brothers ever heard the sound of those fighter jets, but if you're not in the spirit, it'll kind of throw you off, because it sounds like a missile or a bomb drop. Right? It sounds like an explosion as they passing through. How fast they're piercing the clouds, and to the unlearned and the faithless and those that don't have the spirit, they're going to actually put their trust on those things, man. They're going to think those things can save them. Right? The iron, the weaponry, the strength, the power, the noise, and they're going to actually believe that they have some type of power. That's why it says, "Make the earth afraid, and them that are over every high and eminent place a horrible star." So they're going to be dropping down bombs and missiles out of these planes, fire and hail, and flying swords and many waters, and that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. And they shall break down the cities and walls and mountains and hills, trees and wood and grass of the meadows and their corn. So they're going to break down, right, things that are upon the sea, things that are upon land, the different nations. Right? When these fighter jets are flying over, that's going to be one of the chief ways that they fight, man. Right? It says, "And they shall break down the cities and the walls, mountains and hills, trees and wood and grass upon the meadows of their corn. And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon to make her afraid." Right? That's in the Bible. Right? So war is going to really kick off in the Middle East. It's going to make its way into Babylon, make its way with these Confederates and these allies, and all hell was going to break loose with World War III upon the face of the earth. It's going to steadfastly make her way. Right? So we already see it in the East right now. We already see Israel. We already see, right, Iran. We already see these things kicking up And Most High willing, all hell break loose, and it steadfastly fulfills Second Esdras the 15th chapter, and it makes it way right unto Babylon to destroy it. Right, that would make brothers on fire. Sometimes, hey, let me get this quick precept. The Lord said you gotta save some with fire. Right, it's really going to take all hell breaking loose to get your spirit jogged up, man. Sometimes it takes somebody getting on you, right, and rebuking you to your face, right, to stir up that spirit, right, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you need the action, man. Right, the Most High could talk to you all day and all night. The Lord said He speaketh once, say twice, yet man perceiveth it not. But when you break your arm, then you perceiveth it. Right, when your daughter dies, then you perceiveth it, or whatever the case may come through, right, through you not listening and obeying the words of the Most High, then it opens your eyes. Right, it says, let me get this quick precept. It's the mighty book of Jude, right, verse number 22. It says, and some have compassion, making a difference, and others save with fear. When we're commanded to show you what's going to happen if you don't repent, we're commanded to show you the death tolls, the rates, the missiles, and the bombs, and things that we have to go into. Because that's the only way certain Jake going to get saved, man, and get pushed to repent. They get pushed to be on fire, is that this is your only escape is by the chariots and the salvation and the horsemen of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Other than that, you're going to be destroyed right along with the wicked. It says, and others say with fear, pulling them out of the fire. And when you pull somebody out of the fire, sometimes you break their arm, right? Sometimes you twist it and sprain, right, their wrists. Sometimes you inflict injuries, right, and hurt upon that person by pulling them at a vast rate to get them out of there. That's why you have to show what's going to happen. Hey, look, your children could die, man. For all you men out there, you could actually save your household, right, by you being on fire and you teaching your household, letting your household know that we're living in the end of the days. As long as you have faith, right, and the Most High has mercy upon your household, you have a chance of deliverance, along with the works of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right, you got it. If not, I'll bring something else up.
And I was looking for this. I want to pull this up. I just found it as you finish. Now this was what this was yesterday from World News 24/7. Israel warns Jerusalem residents, you must, here's what they said, quote, you must clean and prepare special shelters, and you must be able to reach them in 90 seconds. And again, hold on. Aren't y'all the people of the Most High? Aren't y'all David, Abraham, right? Isaac, Jacob? Aren't y'all Peter, Paul, you know, Ezekiel and Zechariah and Haggai? Why y'all cleaning and preparing shelters, man, to reach them in 90 seconds? Where's that at in the scriptures, man? Where we in our kingdom fled from the aliens and the strangers into holes for 90 days. Never happened, man. You got the state of Israel. They're supposed to be in their kingdom. I'm not talking about, okay, well, King Saul, remember where Abraham, and no, we're talking about they're supposed to be in their kingdom. 90 seconds. So what if you 91 seconds out, man? It's over. You know, what if you're 2 minutes out? So they're telling them in Jerusalem, this is supposed to be the city of peace, Yerushalayim. So this lets you know that they're not the people of the Lord, man. You must clean and prepare shelters. Then they said, let me pull this up too. Saudi Arabia told Iran it would not allow it to use Saudi airspace to attack Israel. We are defending ourselves, not Israel. So you got the Saudi Arabians. They told Iran, look, man, we're not your guys, man. Right? Not your bro. You know, not your mans. No, you can't use our airspace, man, for war. And this is now really, y'all supposed to be the same people, man. Y'all are both supposed to be Muslims. So much for Islam. For all you Negroes that are into Islam, so much for Islam. Islam is a joke. Oh, it's unity, and you know, we come together in the name of Allah. Don't they both believe in Allah? There's different types of Muslims, Sunni and believe Shia Muslims, and that's why they hate each other, the Arabs and the Iranians. But they're both Muslims, man. Here you are being attacked by the so-called white man, the state of Israel, and both of y'all know that he's not the Jew. And then you told him, no, look, man, we ain't going to help you out. We defending ourselves. So you nations have no true unity, man. All your unity is rooted in lust and fear of the so-called white man in the region. You don't they don't want to go to war with the so-called white man. That's all it is. They getting goodies from Esau. You know, they get military bases, they get trade, they get weapons, they get jets. They're not going to lose that for you damn Iranians, man. So you even got division amongst the Arabs. You got division amongst the Arab nations, right? It was another one, right? Oh no, where is this at? Here it is. This is from Global Eye News. This is a good site for brothers that watch. Egypt has announced, and you can say, well, that's just one source. Well, you can look up the other sources, right? We did too. Egypt has announced that it will not intercept any drones or missiles launched from Yemen by the Houthis towards Israel. So they're picking a side. Even the Middle Eastern nations, they're all picking a side. Egypt said, hey, look, you on your own. Saudi Arabia said, you on your own. Other nations said, look, Iran, we got your back. So you're going to have this major fallout in the Middle East, man. Right? You're going to have this major fallout in the Middle East. And here's another one. All right, 3 hours ago. This is the Situation Room. U.S. President Biden and Vice President Harris are currently in the Situation Room receiving updates. And we're in the Situation Room, man. You know, we're receiving updates regarding the situation in the Middle East, man. This is the Situation Room. This live. And when we get breaking news, we bringing it out on this live, man. You know, when the inside men, they give us a message and we kind of say what's going on. So you have Arabs against Arabs. Egypt said we don't want no parts. And you got all of these nations coming together in the Situation Room. For brothers that don't know, let's pull up the Situation Room. What is the Situation Room? The Situation Room got a damn situation, man. Is an intelligence management complex on the ground floor of the West Wing of the White House. While the name suggests it is a single room, it is in fact a 5,000 square feet operation suite consisting of a duty watch station and 3 secure conference rooms, man. So we're in a Situation Room, man, making this thing go down, right? Look at this, the Situation Room. The Lord is not dealing with the Situation Room, man. You're not going to solve anything in there.
Right.
Look at this so-called black woman. What are you doing in there? She's in too deep. How did you, Eve and Shirley Chisholm, end up in a Situation Room, man? You got it, King.
Miss Wallace.
Right.
It's my grandmother.
Right.
Right. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 1. Right. And Jeremiah pleads, right, for the Most High to behold judgment. Right. It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 12 verse 1. Righteous art thou, O Yahweh, when I plead with thee. So the Most High is pleading the cause. You understand? It says, plead with thee. Yet let me talk with thee of thy judgments. It says, wherefore doeth the way of the wicked prosper. So Jeremiah says, look, I have to plead. I know that you're righteous, but I have to plead with you with your judgments. Right? Because why are the wicked prospering? Why are they continuing to be on decades and decades and years and without an end, it feels like, man. Like Ezra said, if the earth be created for us, right? In 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, right? It says, thy judgment, wherefore doeth the way of the wicked prosper? Wherefore are all they happy that deal very treacherously, man? Right? You see them weaponing up, right? You seeing them getting their money out their bank accounts. They're living deliciously. They're the ones that have all the war, the weaponry, right? They're living deliciously, right, and treacherously with their ways and their evils, and it seems like none's happening to them. Thou hast planted them, yea, that has taken root, right? And the Most High has planted, right, that nation for a moment and a season. Like it says in Revelation 12 and 12, right, Job 24:24, various other precepts, the time of the wicked is short, Right? Job chapter 20 and verse 4. But thou, O Yahweh, Salakia, thou hast planted them, yet thou hast taken root. They grow, yet they bring forth fruit. Thou art near in their mouth and far from thy reigns. Right? So, I mean, Jeremiah is pleading, right, that the Most High behold the judgment, right, upon these ungodly nations, man. Right? Now, when you go into it, we have to pray the same. Right? You have many prayers in the spirit. Second Maccabees, the first chapter, right? The book of Sirach, the 36th chapter, and various other precepts praying that the Lord destroys this place. Right? Let me get a quick precept in Second Esdras. Right? You got Ezekiel 9, set a mark upon the men that sigh and cry. You got actual people that want to get out of here, man. And you got actual people that really don't care. Second Esdras chapter 6, right, in verse, right, number 57. Right? Right, and it reads, it says, and now, O Yahweh, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing. So these prime ministers and these kings, although they have these palaces and all this weaponry and all of this money and gold and wealth, their reputation in the eyes of the Most High has ever been nothing. They're nothing. Have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. We be thy people whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover are given into their hands. If the world be now made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And that last line just shows the spirit that Ezra's in. Can't read this dry. How long shall this endure? And then you flip the page real strong. Right? How long shall this endure? As if he's waiting. He's sighing. He's in the spirit of why these heathen are still reigning over us, man. When the last time we've been in power? When the last time we had a king? When the last time we had a governor, man? When the last time we had a prophet that was in a trance or a dream that actually spoke for the whole nation of Israel, man? How long has it been where we've been without, you understand, the true and living God? Like it's saying Second Chronicles, man, 15 and 3 all the way down. So you got to really want these things that we read about back. And if you're not in the spirit, you'll start to think, well, I mean, these accounts, why they ain't happening now? And this, brother, this is punishment. Brother, we're in this state because we sinned. That's why we got to go twice as hard to revisit, right, for the Most High to grant, right, and show mercy to give us the things that we had before, right? These things aren't just, right, stories, man. These are accounts of our fathers that actually happened. So just like Jeremiah, just like Sirach, just like Ezekiel, just like all of these men that were before us, they sighed and wanted these things to come to pass. And you got to move in the same spirit. You know, that's what prayer, that's what watching, right? That's what having clean hands, you know, all that, and that's what sealing the elect by teaching. You know, all of these things is prevalent, right, for the coming of our Lord, right? It's not just watching all day, right? You got to put the work in. We have to seal the elect. Because once the 144,000, right, and it has to be very close, the 144,000, the way the earth is and the way things are heating up, right, the way this word is a wildfire, the way the elders are in Israel and then the younger generation coming in, and brothers are dreaming every other night. Brothers are seeing things in the scriptures, prophecies for to come. Brothers are dreaming things, right, that are in the scriptures that's coming to pass in their everyday lives, right? Being servants and prophets, right? The Lord is dealing with man on a high level upon the earth. You have to perceive, right, if you don't already, that the days draweth nigh. But you got it.
God. And you know, another thing that's going on in the earth for brothers that are watching is the stock markets are at an all-time low, man. Right? Stock markets are at an all-time low. People are screaming. They're trying to figure out what's going on with their money. I believe you had trillions of dollars be damn depleted from the stock, man. And you even had, it got so bad, you even have CEOs posting scriptures, man. A brother sent that. You have one of the CEOs, he went in his bag and he pulled a scripture, man. Right? I wanted to find the one he pulled. Let's see if I can find this one. You even had these nations. I'll find it, Lord willing. Right? But they're pulling scriptures, man. Not all of a sudden everybody believes in the Most High. Keep the faith, right? Keep the faith. The Lord is my rock. Here's my fortress. Now he's your rock and your fortress, man. You've been oppressing the people, robbing the people, looting from the people. It's like, where is this at, man? And committing all types of damn larceny, man. I have to find it. But you even got damn CEOs, they posting scriptures, man. Right? You have global stock markets at an all-time low. Let's pull this up. Stocks sink with dollar, treasuries volatile on recession fears, man. So everybody's fearing this war that's going to take place. Everybody understands that once that Japanese dollar sank and the American dollar may go into recession, everybody knows that, hey, look, man, we need to stop investing our money into these companies. We have to pull out, stocks going to go down, and all hell is going to break loose, man. And we're hoping this isn't just a one-day event, a two-day event. Stocks are sinking by the second. By the second. Let's pull this up real quick, man. It reads, equities. Hold on, let's jump up. European stocks tumble 2%. Nikkei closes down 13%. Right? It reads, equities suffered heavy losses around the globe on Monday as Wall Street added to a rout that started in Japan, while the dollar tumbled against the yen and nervous investors look for signs of a recession in the United States. You see that? So everybody, they're like, hey, look, man, this dollar is not what it used to be. The dollar is losing value. America's, they're towards their third world war. There are trillions of dollars in debt. They're going through a retail apocalypse. They're going through a real estate apocalypse. Housing markets are at an all-time high. We are not looking to hold on to US dollars. And that's why you have Russia, who's that, China. They're looking to form their own currency. Right? And all of these nations are looking at America as a weak point in the world, man. They're being exposed. And people are scared, man. You have people scared to death, man. I put up the plantation I'm at, stock market down. All these stock markets are down, man. Right? And we did a cold cut a long time, well, not a long time ago, maybe a few months ago, about what happens when a stock market goes down and what's the next step. Because it just spirals and spirals out of control. You know, eventually all these public shares in the companies that you work at, people going to pull out of that, man. They're going to try to sell that, get their money out the banks. The banks only hold so much money. The bank don't hold $10 million. They take that money and do what they want to do with that money, man. That's how they make their money. So you're going to try to go there and get your money. Hey, look, man, you can only do a $300 withdrawal. Right? Try to go on your online app. You can only take out $200. Then people are going to go to the banks and try to beat the banks down, and they're going to start panic buying. And prices are going to go up, and it's going to be looting and robbing. If this thing continues to go down, man. Now, ultimately, let's go to a quick precept, Ecclesiastes chapter 12. It will happen, man. Rather it's today or 2 weeks from now. Here's what the Most High said. This Ecclesiastes chapter 12. I mean, this whole thing is good, man. And verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So you're going to admit that the days are going to be unpleasurable for you in time to come. The years draw nigh when you won't have pleasure. You won't have fun. There won't be laughter. There won't be mirth. There won't be wine. You have to remember the Most High now, man. Well, you can have pleasure in the Most High. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Here's the point. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So grinders are those who grind at the mill, which is what your modern day warehouse, man. You know, those are your modern day grinders, the ones that work at Amazon's distribution centers, few distribution centers, right? All of these different places that distribute food to your local stores, all of that is going to cease, man. The Lord said that the four storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. That's 2nd Ezra 6:22. One more. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. You see that? So the sound of the grinding is getting low. People ain't going to be working at the upper and nether millstone anymore, right? The economy's going down. The sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right? So the daughters of music are what? The people of the world. They're going to be brought low in the society, those that rejoice at the sound of the harp and the organ. Right? But we understand that the Most High is saying that these stock markets, where's that at one more time? These stock markets are at an all-time low. A global recession, and this thing is heating up every day, man. It's like this thing is heating up every day. You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. It's Isaiah chapter 19 in verse, right, number 5. Book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse number 5. Right? And it reads, it says, and the water shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be waste up and dry. Right, so everything's going to be dried up, and it's going to happen slowly but surely. That's why you got to keep watch. You will wake up and your whole bank account is cleared out, man. You don't know what happened, where it came from. Right? You can't no longer buy Bibles. Right? All hell could break loose, an EMP attack could hit. Right? You don't have any internet. You don't have any thought process of what to do. Right? You're panicking, and the last thing you're thinking about is the Most High. Well, you should be watching that you're preparing yourself mentally and spiritually what to do, your prayers, your thought process. If you see a dog coming, you're not going to be as afraid and or panicking because you see it coming. You're thinking about where you're going to go, what you're going to do. All right, but if you turn around and you're getting attacked, man, right, you have nobody to blame, right, but you. You weren't vigilant. You weren't watching. You weren't prepared, and you were occupied somewhere else, man. Right, it says, and they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of the fence shall be empty and dried up, and the reeds and flags shall wither. So everything sown by the brooks, meaning by the waters to bring forth the increase, is going to wither, meaning die away. The paper reeds by the brooks, meaning the waters, by the mouth of the brooks, meaning the beginning, and everything sown, right, meaning planted, by the brooks shall be withered, be dried away, and be no more. The fishes also so mourn, and all they that cast anger into the brook shall lament. Right? Meaning everybody that does trade and get something out of the waters. Right? You may bring in, right? You may receive and or get out. So everybody casting an angle, reaping from the benefits of all of the trade and things coming in to the land and or that are sold up, right, by the brooks, are going to be in anguish. It says, upon the water shall languish. Moreover, they that work and find flat, and they that weave needlework shall be confounded. Right? They that be broke, and they're going to be confounded. And that's the spirit, because say they that work and find flat. That's not just talking about one people or one specific job. People are going to be confounded that do work. They're going to just get out of college, right? Just get out of trade school, right? They're going to just move up in a company. They're going to just do things to advance and or have a product that they sell or work in as a trade, and they're going to be confounded that they're not going to be able to reap the things that they went to school for and or advance in their company or study for. You have a lot of people right now studying for their masters, studying for their bachelors, studying for their doctors, right? Studying for a vocational school and trade school and being mechanical, whatever the case may be. Them that work, right, to create things in a society, right, they're going to be confounded. It says, and they shall be broken, and the purpose thereof, and all that make sluices by the pond of fishes. Right? So everything sold in by the brook, the Lord said, hey, look, man, this thing's going to go away. That's why I want to get one more in the book, right, of Isaiah chapter 24. It don't matter if you rich, you poor, right? It don't matter if you young, you old, or what manner in a society you are, the Lord's still going to judge you. Right? I'm going to start at verse 2. It It says, and it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master. Right? So whether you're a servant, a master, a priest, or just an average man, the judgment and the things that are going to hit are going to all hit the same. It says that's why people are buying underground bunkers. They're already preparing themselves because in those days, the buying, the selling, the trade, right? Nobody's going to care about money. Nobody's going to care about $10,000 when there's no way to spend it. When all hell is breaking loose, the food markets are already ravished, right? Wild beasts are changing their habitations, right? You're not going to be able to use the things, right, that you have. That's why they're all going to be looted and stolen away. It says with their mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord have spoken this word. Right? And looters are going to be on an all-time high, man. You got squatters that are inhabiting houses. You're going to have looters. Whenever there's a riot or upbraiding or uprising, shall I say, of the people, right? And all hell breaks loose, you tend to have looters, right? Breaking into buildings, right? Breaking into businesses and breaking into houses, right? And that's second address. So these things are going to happen, and you can't be on the other side of the fence scared and not knowing what to do. Why? Because the Lord told you ahead of the time. That's consoling you, man. What if the Lord never gave us these things and all he just said was keep watch? And you don't know what you're watching for. No, the Most High told you these things. To a T what's going to happen. So when you do see a wild beast, you know what's going on. So when you do see uprisings and uproars of the people, there's nothing left out that the Lord hasn't warned you of in part, not completely showed you the whole vision, but has warned you in part that you can't mentally prepare for, to pray, to have faith in. But you got it.
Huh. And that's why you got T-Mobile. They're saying get your to-go bag, man. Even T-Mobile is getting involved in this. And their post, the Un-Carrier shared a video of what should be inside a quote-unquote go bag. According to the American Red Cross, your go bag should include a water container, an emergency radio, first aid kit, a personal hygiene kit, and necessary medications. So even T-Mobile, they're saying this is from July 1st, right? July 31st. Get your to-go bag. So the Most High is putting his spirit on the earth, man. Even your cellular service, man, they can't even damn give you a break on the phone bill, and you got 2 bars here, 3 bars here. They say we don't care about none of that, man. Get your to-go bag, man. Make sure you got your battery pack, your mobile charger. Make sure you got some damn Q-tips, man, some deodorant, a flashlight, some peroxide and some Neosporin, a flint rod, because all hell is about to break loose. How can you not see all hell is about to break loose? Even if you avoided social media, even if you avoided the global news, T-Mobile's telling you you can't escape. The Most High is putting a spirit on everybody, man. Like you said, let me pull the CEO up, man. Let's see if I can pull this up. His name is Pat Gelsinger. Right? So he's even posting scriptures, man. Letting you know we living in the end. Because he's seeing this stock market collapse. Look at this. Look at this. Intel facing tough time. CEO quotes Bible on Twitter, man. Intel, right? That's that tech stuff. CEO Pat posts Bible verse after stocks plummet. So everybody's going to become a believer, man. Right? Everybody, they're going to try to call on the Most High, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them small as the dust. Right? Intel needs to strongly reconsider its options. What does that mean, man? Right? Look, he quoted Proverbs chapter 4:25. Let your eyes look straight on. And I mean, it's one of my favorite precepts in Proverbs, man. Right? Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thoughts to the paths of your feet and be steadfast in all your ways. Now, he's into some wild version, but here's the guy right here, man. He's trying to warn you. Even a CEO of Intel, he's pushing scriptures, man. So you Israelites is not pushing scriptures, man. That's not doing the work. That's a damn shame. Even Pat Gelsinger. Like I said, well, maybe he's an Israelite. Maybe. Well, guess what? Even he's posting scripture. He knows that we're in the end. T-Mobile knows we're in the end. Right? Everybody knows we're living in the end of the world, man. But Jake, I don't believe that. That's the white man's book. Right? Who wrote that book? Right? King James didn't write that. So you still have these scoffers out here, and even these nations, they're beginning to wake up and smell the damn coffee, man. Look at this. Right? Look, schedule time off and take those sabbaticals. So he's telling people to take their sabbaticals, man. Keep the Shabbat. Things are so bad at Intel that the boss is posting Bible verses. And then, they're going to start committing suicide, man. A lot of these Edomites are going to start killing themselves. They're going to start jumping off of buildings, blowing their brains out. A lot of these Edomite men, they like to kill their wife and their children, man. And then blow their brains out with a sawed-off shotgun, and write a manifesto. So you expect to see a lot of these CEOs killing themselves, man, and blowing their brains out and jumping off of skyscrapers. They didn't invest their whole life in this thing. So you have these stock markets. These stock markets are at an all-time low. Let's pull this last one up real quick. NASDAQ stock drop. Look at this. Right? NASDAQ stock drop. Look at this guy. He got his head in his hand. Right? Sinks 4%. People are crying and making phone calls. Dow plunges more than 1,000 points as global stock rout deepens on recession. So if you really think that your job isn't going to save you, man. It's over. Your job can't save you. Money can't save you. The Lord is cutting off all angles for you. Cut off the military might that you trusted in. Cut off the money that you trusted in. And the Lord's cutting off all things, man. Let me get a quick precept in Ezekiel chapter 7 real quick.
Con, Yard down backstage. I got a precept after you.
Okay, Con, let me get Yard down there. Right, Salakius. Right. All right, bear with us. Try to get Yara down there. All right, Shalom, King. What's brother in here?
Shalom, King. It's the water.
Shalom, King.
All right, Shalom. All right, so let's pull this up. Quick precept, Ezekiel chapter 7. Right? Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. Right? This is Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 17. It reads, all hands shall be feeble and all knees shall be weak as water. Hey, the Lord said, of heaviness cometh death, in Sirach the 38th chapter. So you could be so heavy in your mind, you would kill yourself, man. Sarah thought to kill herself in Tobit the 3rd chapter. Tobit thought to kill himself, man, in that same chapter. Judas killed himself, man. Ahithophel, he committed suicide. Saul thrust himself through, man. A lot of people, his armor bearer thrust himself through. There's a lot of suicide in the scriptures. When people's hands get feeble and these CEOs and people don't have any money, people are going to lose their mind and their knees are going to be weak as water. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them, and the day of the wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity, man. So when this dollar collapses over, man, you're not going all that money you got saved up, man, for that damn new house, man. You know, now we say throw all your money out. No, hey, you use this world, but you don't abuse it. Hey, but if you start trusting in this world, it's going to become a stumbling block. You're in this world temporarily. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come in Hebrews 13 and 14. So people going to be throwing their money out in the streets like it's Venezuela, man. Where they could take that money and you could use it for fire fuel, man. That money in Venezuela is worthless. It's literally out in the streets and people take and they make damn origami with it, man. That's how the money of the US dollar is going to be. Right? So again, don't be trusting in this man's economy because the Most High is letting you know that there's no hope in it. But brothers got it.
Come. It's the book of Luke, chapter 12, right in verse number 15. You can't trust in riches, man. It's not going to save you at all. There's nothing that riches are going to do. Yeah, the Lord did say money is a defense, but you don't want to put your trust in money, right? Or anything that's bought. Because at a bat of an eye or, the next day or the following hour, it could all be taken away. You could get robbed. You could get looted, man. Right? Anything could happen. Right? This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, and verse 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possess. Right? So a lot of these elites, right? And even those that are not elites, like those like Rick Ross, man. We did a cold cut not too long ago, a Monday Night Fire. We went into the underground bunkers. And Rick Ross has an underground bunker. He actually think that that's going to save him or help him in the midst of the day of trouble. Even Rick Ross knows something of what's going on. The weed smoking, shrimp eating thug, right, knows what's going on. And Jake is sitting on the couch, twiddling their thumbs, right, watching TV all day. And even these rappers, right, these people that are in the streets and in the world, they have their minds somewhat knit on what's going on in the earth. So you have no excuse not to know what's going on. It says, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. Right? And the Most High may bless you, and or you may get an inheritance. Right? Like the Lord said, paraphrasing greatly, an inheritance might be gotten hastily at the beginning. It says, but, so like Annie said, this will I do. I will pour down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. So his mom was thinking about what he's going to do with his labors, his fruits, his good, his wealth, his money, right? What's going to happen? He's thinking about his children, his wife, many days. He's thinking about building. He's thinking about his life moving on. And this could be your life in America. And a lot of people put their trust in what they're going to do, right, 9 years from now, 12 years from now. And I say into my soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. So this man erred when he started to think and put his trust in his riches, one. But two, he was thinking about many years, right? The scriptures say, make the time short, man. We're supposed to haste to get out of here. So he was trying to prolong time and enjoy the fruit of his labors of covetousness of what he have gathered. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry, meaning be slothful, right? It says, but God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. And you never know when the Lord is going to destroy you, right? Call you home and or have destruction to kick off. It can happen at any given moment. So this soul, your night could be required. The Lord could require those talents he gave you. The Lord can require that reading, that understanding. The Lord could require the gift of what he put inside of you, right? The Lord could require a lot. He could require your soul. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? Meaning, where are they going to go? Where your portion is going to go, right? All your fruit of your labor is going to go to God knows where, right? To the east wind. So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. And this is not always talking about money. You could lay up treasures in many ways of things of this earth, right? So you want to make sure that your spirit is laying up those treasures, right, of the Most High. Right, brothers got it.
Can brothers hear me?
Con.
Con.
This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 4. Labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. And so the Lord clearly states you don't want to work to be a rich man upon the earth, because the rich man, they all have a certain spirit upon them, which is greed. Verse 5. Before I grab that, I'm going to land me back with Proverbs 22, verse 22. Rob not the poor, because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. You can't name me not one billionaire that hasn't afflicted and oppressed the poor. And in fact, reaching beyond overseas, this is currently happening in Bangladesh, where the people were seizing their
Yep.
leader's house. They took the elliptical, they took the pillows, they was taking the refrigerator, they took damn near everything because they were under the rule of a dictator. And that's Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And so it is all throughout Babylon, America. The people are in a great mourning because we're being afflicted constantly by the poor, being oppressed constantly by the poor. Some places they don't abide by OSHA, their own laws. Some places they make you work 12 hours. They make you break labor laws, which is absolutely vile, which is why it says in the book of Ecclesiastes, I'm going to butcher it, but that's why it's good to have a little sleep and slumber. So that's Ecclesiastes 5. Grab that real quick. 5 and verse 12. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. And that in itself can cause depression, stress, just spirits upon the poor, because you always working and thinking about work. If you look at Japan or watch a video of the so-called Ammonites, a lot of their business people, or they call them I can't recall, but they work in offices. They be sleeping on the trains and the subways because they're just overworked. Verse 5, back to Proverbs 23 and 5, all relating to the rich and why it's not prosperous. It's not beautiful. It's not a beautiful and good and godly idea to be a rich man. Verse 5 in Proverbs 23, wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. And that's plain. I mean, money's going to come and go. Money, hey, you got your rent coming up, there it go. You got a water bill, there it goes. You got a flat, there it goes. I mean, the more you try to obtain to be rich, like Tupac or Biggie or Rick Ross, the more you realize, the more you have to spend. And in addition to that, the more money you desire, the more you'll have to sin. With that, I yield.
Con. And I wanted to actually touch on that real quick. So you got war, you got global recession, you also have civil unrest, man. I believe the leader of Bangladesh actually fled the country, right? I believe it was a woman, right? You have protests,
God.
and that person actually fled, man. Oh hell, look at this. What does this even mean right here, man? You know, that's how bad it is. Bangladesh, let's pull this up real quick. Right? Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina flees. Army says interim government to be formed. So this is madness, man. It got so bad on these riots that the leader of the country had to flee the country to an undisclosed location. And like Yaradan said, they was coming for her head, man. You know, and they start robbing her. Then some of the people said, okay, we're doing too much, put some of the stuff back. And they said, no, we're going to keep it. So they set up the military to kind of figure out what's going on, man. Now, word says that they fled to India, but you know that it's still they're still trying to figure this matter out. It remains to be seen, right? It says Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled the country on Monday. That was today. She fled today after hundreds of people were killed and a crackdown on demonstrations that began as protests against job quotas. See that? They're going to what Yaradon was going into. Swelled into a movement demanding her ouster. Jubilant crowds stormed unopposed. See, if you're unopposed, even the military was being oppressed.
Kind of Satan kind of took the brother computer off. But to let me back off that, here's another picture, right? And I'm gonna read it. Okay, it doesn't want to show, but it reads: people are returning things they have taken from Prime Minister's house and are telling others not to take stuff. So it's nothing but madness and commotion, right? I got a precept. The Lord said, where envy and strife is, there's every evil confusion work. Paraphrasing the book of James. Are you able to hear me? Right?
Con, I can hear you, can.
Con. This book of James, chapter 3, verse 16. And it reads, yeah, that's, I was actually laughing at about this at work. I was thinking about it. And, they got us doing some madness at work. And I'm like, wow, this place is really ending. It's going belly under. And I'm telling the people at work I work with, and I asked them, like, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think about your life? What are you going to do? And everybody's mind is just like, I don't know. Maybe I'll do DoorDash. If they just cancel all the jobs, I would do a side hustle or something. I'll digging my hand into my savings. They all sounded frantic and worried. It's kind of sweating. They're stuttering when he answered me. Verse 16. For where envying and strife is, there's confusion and every evil work. Which ties back to that picture of people just looting. They don't know what to do with her stuff. See what happened when the king is taken down? Not to say that that woman was a king, but I mean, you could say modern terms, her position is equivalent of a king. In the ancient world, the king's supposed to be highly regarded, and you can't even speak bad about him. They had a high authority when you read in Esdras. Let me pull out that precept real quick. This is First Esdras chapter 4, verse 3. But yet the king is more mighty, for he is a lord of all these things and hath dominion over them, and whatsoever he commanded them, they do. This is the majesty of a king back in the 4th century, back in the 3rd century. Whatever he says, they do it. If Joe Biden walk in a store and he tell them, hey, pick this up, they're going to laugh at him. They'll spit at him. You can see what happened when he fell off his bike. Everybody ridiculed, made memes, a song off of him. These kings, they're spit. They're like spittle. Nobody gives a damn what they think. They're offing themselves. So let me read verse 4. If the bid them make war the one against the other, they do. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains and towers. And so even today, you have people, you have the king telling the people, hey, come go to war. You got to go to war. They're giving people the service letter. People say, I ain't going to war. Nobody respects the leaders of this society, even across the world. So much so, they looted her stuff. And now the people are in mass confusion. They're just scared and frantic. Some are saying, no, don't take it. Others saying, F that, I want to take it. So you can see the state of a society when there's no ruler. Now they finally know what Israel is feeling. How it feels not to have a ruler in the society. A true righteous ruler, I should say. But that's why the Lord has to come back. You got it.
Yeah. I don't know what was the last thing I said, but I was on a rant. I was going on a long rant. But Found out I got cut off. It was a long rant. I was running my mouth, but I was going into second Esdras, the 15th chapter, man. Now, this this is second Esdras, chapter 15. Let me pull this up, man. Right? I was going on a rant. I know I got cut out, man. Right? I wanted to pull this up real quick. This is second Esdras, chapter 15. So I read this in another translation. Right? Bear with me. Now, this is from the GNT. Did brothers hear this when it cut off?
La.
All right, this second Esdras 15 to 14. The world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near, right? That's World War III. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. Here's the point. There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. So that's what's going on, man. You have great political turmoil, one group trying to overpower another while ignoring the legitimate government, right? There will be no longer free access to the cities because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion where people live. Driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. That's what's going on, man. These people in Bangladesh are driven by famine, suffering. They're assaulting their neighbors and mercilessly plundering their possessions. And they ignored the legitimate government. So, World War III is not the only major Bible prophecy, man. Instability in governments, great political turmoil are also major Bible prophecies to let you know that these governments are no longer in control. The Most High is in control. Because if you were in control, then you would have complete order in your society. But the Most High, he's breaking this stuff all up, man. And now people are mercilessly plundering people's possessions. People gonna be stealing damn what's that, insulin, man? Your medicine. In that movie, what's that movie, man? They made the movie where they had to go to the neighbor and get the medicine. It's the movie that just came up with the Jake. But it was the Jake
and behind.
Yeah, Leave the World Behind. They had to go to the what's his name? Kevin Bacon, right? And ask him for some medicine, man. Now he was kind of apprehensive, like, look, you're not getting this medicine. So they had to kind of plead the cause, for the Edomite, he need the medicine. He kind of got a shotgun and kind of aimed it at him. And hey, so people are going to be robbing people for that, man. People got medicine, you're going to have bandages and all hell is going to break loose. That's why in Bangladesh, again, where's that at? They're losing their damn mind. Look at this. They're on a pole. You got people in the water. And they're all looking for food and lust. Right? One more thing. You had this going on in the UK, man. They're attacking hotels. They lynching people. UK riots plunge country into worst unrest in years. Right? So you have total anarchy in the United Kingdom, man. Right? And this is supposed to be at one time the world's major superpower. Look at this. These are Edomites, thugs, niggers, right? Gangsters, hoodlums. Look at this. Throwing up gang signs. Look at all these thugs out here, man. And this is supposed to be, at one time, Great Britain was the largest, greatest empire, man. And they caused instability in India. They took over the colonies. They took over Canada. There's not really, they took over China, man.
Africa.
They took over, right? They took over Africa. England took over everybody at one time. If you look up real quick, the British Empire, Great Britain, let's pull this up real quick. Great Britain Empire at its peak. I mean, there's not really a continent that they didn't touch, man. Look at this.
Yeah, I was watching a history video. They touched Japan in around the 1500s.
Yeah.
Just force them to trade.
So they're all over. South America, they was in North America, obviously they're in England, they was in Asia, they was in Africa, they was in Australia, and they were at one time the world's greatest empire. Look at their empire. The whole damn world. Now look at them, man. Right? Bunch of thugs out here. Right? A bunch of thugs. UK riots, England, look at this. England on fire. Right? Brothers got it.
Yeah, brothers got it.
Yeah. Hoodlums.
Look at this. Right?
With the hoods on, the ski mask.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're living in the end of the world, man. We're covering World War III. We're covering civil unrest, seditions, pandemonium, economic collapse. Damn, it's still chariot sightings going on all around the world. Look at this. All praise to the Most High, man. Look at the so-called white woman.
Good.
And his fancy hat, man. As he tackles the so-called white woman down. This is not the 1830s anymore. This is not England of the 1920s anymore, man. This is today's England, white on white crime, riots, thugs, hoodlums, right? And absolute madness out there, right? But that's all I had. Brothers ain't had nothing we could wind down.
I got one. Matthew 24. I mean, these are the things that I think about and ponder, while I'm in captivity in a place of work. I just think about these things, and it makes me happy, to be honest. It makes me get up with a purpose through a spirit. I can eat my eggs in the morning with a smile. This is Matthew 24 and 1. And Yahushua went out, because it says oppression make the wise man mad. However, when you see the chains of this oppression slowly breaking, it's rusting. Essentially, the chains that's been upon us, they're rusting. And rust, if you don't know, breaks easily.
Right.
And so this oppression is slowly rusting away and breaking. And it's being put upon the heathen. Matthew 24 and verse 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And so that's a question that our forefathers asked, even our apostles that wrote with Yahushua. These are the questions that you should be asking, right? And really, the Lord is answering. The Lord is slowly touching the earth. If you ask that question, I mean, you'll realize it's being answered right now, 2024. Slowly but surely, the Lord is making his return. And it's going to be a magnificent return. Because his return before the calm is destruction. But with that, I yield.
Con. If brothers ain't have anything else, I was gonna bring out a closing precept, but brothers got it if not.
Yeah, real quick, and brothers got it right. It is a race riot going on out there. All them immigrants that were sending in years ago, a lot of them Edomites, man, they're showing their true colors, man. They're burning. They went to burn down one of those buildings that they was dwelling in. You had a bunch of Arabs or Hamites dwelling in the building. Them Edomites marched down there like it was the damn race riots in America, man. Where they went and it was like Tulsa, Oklahoma. So, hey man, you got all hell breaking loose on major parts of the earth, and you know what's coming to America. The Lord put the spirit on America real quick to run these experiments and these other nations, man. They're a testing ground. So they cause global operations and coups and overthrow governments, and they study it. Then they take that same tactic after they test it, in Australia, then England, then they bring it to America. So they're going to, if that, with this Trump, Kamala Harris deal, this is going to lead to major riots, race riots, seditions, wars in America. And your job is going to close down, and your job is going to start letting people go because the stock markets are going to continually go down, and they're going to pull out, and they're going to start letting people go. They're going to furlough you and knock on your bring you to their office and like, I'm sorry, you're a great guy. It's nothing against you, but it's just the way that the economy's shaping out. I hate to lose a great guy like you. If you ever need anything, here's my personal cell number, but I'm sorry, we're gonna have to let you go. And that conversation is going to become more and more frequent. It's going to be less promotions, less salary raises, more pay cuts, more cutting off jobs. People going to have to start taking low-end jobs, man. You have to start that, to survive, you have to start being a car washer, man. Scraping the grease off the McGriddle, man, or whatever that is at McDonald's, man. You have to start sweeping the hair in the barbershop. People going to be fighting over those jobs, man. These low menial jobs, these are going to be the end all be all, man. So you're living in the end of the world. I just want to make that last statement. Brother's got it.
Yeah, I was going to say this dude at my job, he got a IT degree and a computer science degree and a homeland security degree. Getting $19 an hour. Experience for 8 years. He does this every morning, or every other day. Thou shalt not lie. He's like this. And I just look at it. That's what he's just like this. He's stressed out. That's right. He does obscene gestures with a strong implication. He's trying to remove himself from this world.
Kill us.
Yeah. He kind of do this. He kind of joke around, but he's serious. He's serious. Out. You said what?
Going to blow his brains out.
He's serious.
Hey, a lot of these Edomites going to go viral. They're going to they're going to be out their mind. They're going to go live and they're going to start blowing their brains out.
Salaki, that already happened when Esau burned himself with fire.
Oh yeah, damn.
Yeah. Yep.
Burned himself with fire, straight up. Yep. Right, and he did it with a straight face.
Yep. Mm-hmm. God.
Hey, they're going to do a Jack Swan 360 reverse jumping off of a building. They're going to start getting fancy and elegant with their deaths.
Yep.
So, yeah. Another guy, he got an IT degree for like 5 years and he got to go to work at an airport. He get paid peanuts just to make ends meet. Literally. And he told me, and I'm still at work, I keep my composure. And he told me he has to like literally sit like this in a small room. I'm not lying. He said you got to sit like this and kind of put. He got to put things. He got to put things in bags all day. Like he said, you got to be hunched over and be like this for a couple of hours, and then you got to go home and wake up and do it all over again.
All praises to the Most High, man. All praises to Yahweh Shai, man. Right. So, hey, brothers got to keep watch, man. I mean, we're living in beautiful times. They were talking about other people's lives. It's going to hit our lives, man. It's going to come near you, man. It's going to affect your job. Your pockets are about to get padded, man. And you can't get all stressed out and you're all worried out. This is going to hit home, man. Yeah, just because it's in Bangladesh and the UK and we're talking, it's going to hit home. Right? And you're going to be tried as gold in the fire. Some people are going to start breaking the Shabbat. I got to work the Sabbath. You're going to start working these Sabbath days. Money going to be tight. Going to be profaning the Passover. And I'm under grace. And Yahweh Shah said in Luke 18:7 on down, nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth. So stress and depression and people pockets, man, they're going to compromise their integrity and go the hell off. Right? But you got it, Uriah.
Khan, that's right. That's why you got to have faith more than anything, man. That's very important in the last days. Most our willing brothers are taking heed, right, to all of the precepts and what brothers are bringing out through the Spirit. Right? And through the Spirit, most our willing for brothers that don't know, me, myself, or one of these mighty brothers could do a live to show you how to get all of these whistleblower sites and or resources. Because a lot of people may not know how to find them. Right? So that's a a cold cut in the soul. Right? It's hundreds of them if you don't know. Right? You don't always have to go on end time headlines and wait for it to pop up on your phone. Right? It may not pop up on your phone. You got to search these things out and make sure that whatever that you're diving into, right, is applicable for what's going on the earth. It's a lot of resources that's out here, right, that you got to look into. But I'm gonna bring it out in the book of Revelation. Book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse number 2. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before Yahweh. Right, so continue to work and keep watch, right, and watch over all things, your spirit, your body, you understand, your mind, your spirit, your household, right? It says, remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. And brothers gonna have to start kicking up their repentance too, man. Right? That's what's gonna save you along with works and faith. Right? You have to have clean hands. You can know all of the breakdowns. You could be watching on the edge of your seat with a bloody garment and bloody hands. So you want to make sure that you're repenting so that you could be clean and pure when the Most High comes back through Yahushua. It says, remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come at thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Right? So Yahushua is always walking in the midst of the churches. So you have to always keep your candlestick lit and understand that the Lord could blow out your candlestick at any given second. Brothers got it.
Mighty point, Isaiah 55 and verse 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. And I use that word while twice in that verse, meaning you can't call on him, when it's convenient for you, like he's an Uber driver, like he's a Lyft, or you need food and you calling up the Lord like he's DoorDash. You have to seek him with sincerity. The Lord weigheth your heart in the balances, and he's going to know if you're sincere in this truth. And if you're calling upon him, when you select it for a true purpose, right? You should call upon the Lord not only to ask for things, but chiefly, primarily thank him, right? Thank the Lord for the things that he's done for you. And like the brother said, repent unto the Lord. Because you can call upon the Lord to repent, call upon the Lord to thank him, call upon the Lord for supplications, right? Or to make supplications. Don't call upon him only when you want. And you got to ask yourself in these last days, I'm only calling upon the Lord when I need something. Of course, he said asking you should receive, but what are you giving him? Are you praying enough? Are you reading enough? Are you studying enough? Are you fasting enough? Are you examining your household enough? Are you listening to your household enough? Are you treating your brothers kindly, accordingly? So with that, seek the Lord while he may be found. With that, I yield.
I want to get the classic in Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12. It reads, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So again, faith without works is dead. Remember the apostle James says, show me thy faith without thy works. I will show you my faith by my works, man. So you show how much you believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Rashad with the actions that you put forth on the earth, man. Don't be a brother to say, I believe, I got all this faith, I got it, but you don't have any works behind it, man. You have to have works to match how much you believe in the Most High, man. And works are teaching, works is reading, works is praying, works is exhortation, works is alms, work is charity, work is making your body a sacrifice, work is making videos, work is checking on your brother, work is teaching your households, work is studying, work is taking notes, work is going back up. All of these are works, man. Right? And there are more works even besides that. Time would fail for me to mention every single work that can be done, man. That's why it's important to read and see the great works that our forefathers have done, man. It's important to see the examples that Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai has set up, that you can see the works that have to be done in the last days, because that's going to be the end all be all. On Judgment Day, when Yahweh Shai returns, all of our works are going to be weighed in the balance. And Daniel 5th chapter, Belshazzar was found wanting, man. It said, many, many tickle you farsing, right? Many, thy kingdom has been found wanting, right? Then it says you have been weighed in the balance and you have been found wanting, man. Right? So you don't want, it's like it says that kingdom had been numbered and the Most High finished it. Right? You don't want your kingdom to be numbered and finished it, and then your works are found wanting. And they didn't know that hand was going to be on the wall, man. That hand came on the wall when it was going off, man. Praising the gods of wood and gold and silver. And the Most High sent the hand just like that, man. And said, your kingdom is over, it's finished, and your works are off, man. God forbid a hand come to you, man. And just write down, it's over. Right? Your kingdom has been numbered, man. Right? That's a horrible, and his knees was quaking, man. He was shaking, man. Because the Most High finished his kingdom before he knew it, man. You know? And then he set up Darius to meet in his stead, man. Right? So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashima Mashiach, Wamalak Yabushai, Brother Nakwam.
Shalom, brother. Right.
Brother Yardan, Shalom.
Kwam Yashab. Shalom.